Please do not be frightened by my jankety finger. I had an allergic reaction to an organic Band-Aid. I wish that was a joke, but it's not. Hello and welcome. I'm Ashley, and today, we have some good, I sound very maniacal. I am not maniacal. There is nothing maniacal about this video. It is a full face using cream products. I'm gonna be showing you some of my very favorite cream makeup products. I am a dry skin gal. I just recently hit 30, and let me tell you what, as someone who used to powder her face all the time, I am so happy to report that I have found the beauty of cream makeup products, and I am not going back to those days of matte skin. I will not do it. So in today's video, we're doing this full face of makeup. I mean, come on, I feel radiant, I feel plump, I feel hydrated. I'm over here living my best life. I'm gonna show you the products that I use to get this look. I'm gonna talk about some of my favorite cream products, some of my favorite methods for applying cream products. So if that sounds like fun, well then, yeah, you don't have to do anything. You just keep watching, and that's how we do it. I'm starting out with a little bit of my favorite lip balm, the Kush Lip Balm from Milk Makeup. I have that on my lips, and on my face I just have my favorite day-to-day moisturizer, which is the Renee Rouleau Glow Enhancing Cream. I love that it does give you a nice glow, and it's a good rich texture that's still light enough to wear under makeup. Now, because we're doing like a full face of cream, today I'm going to be wearing a satin finish foundation. I'm going to be using the Kevyn Aucoin Etherealist. So I want a nice glow under that, just so it looks like I'm kind of radiating from within. Radiating from within, that kind of sounds like some Chernobyl stuff. Anyway, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna mix together one of my favorite primers. This is the Rodial Instant Glow. I love this, but I wanna add like a little bit extra moisture to it. So I'm gonna put in a pump of the Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewdrops. I tried this out last week for the first time, this mixture, and I absolutely love it. It gives me a nice glow. It feels really nice and slippy under my makeup, but it still sticks to the makeup. So it's just like the perfect combination. I do sometimes find that, especially in the winter, I like to combine a couple products together, at least for my base. So this is something that I do quite a bit. I love the glow of this Rodial primer, but I do often need to mix something in with it just to make it a little more hydrating for me. If you have like normal to oily skin, you would probably really like this on its own, but I do need a little bit of moisture added to it. Sometimes I just use a regular hydrating primer or a little bit of moisturizer, but I really like it with the dewdrops, and I have been loving the dewdrops. They smell so good. So you can see we have a nice glow going on, which is great because it's gonna look really nice under this satin finish foundation, which is the Kevyn Aucoin The Etherealist Skin Illuminating Foundation. I wear the shade Light EF3. I'm gonna apply it with a damp sponge today, just because I want a little bit of a lighter coverage. This is a good medium buildable coverage foundation. It does have a very natural satin finish. It's not, I feel like when something's satin, it can either go satin matte or satin radiant. This is very like natural satin finish, natural skin finish. It's a really nice foundation. I like Kevyn Aucoin products a lot. I remember when I first got Kevyn Aucoin books, he had already passed. I would have been like 20, I think, about 20 years old. I absolutely love those books. I still have his books, and I go to them sometimes when I'm looking for, just to switch things up. He was, if you didn't know, Kevyn Aucoin was an amazingly talented makeup artist, and he wrote a couple books, and they are just amazing. Even if you don't use them to like pick up makeup tips, the pictures in them, the looks that he did are just fantastic, and he worked with so many amazingly gorgeous women. Actually, some of my favorite photos that he did are actually on Kate Moss and Gwyneth Paltrow, like some of my favorite looks, which, can you imagine two people more different than Gwyneth Paltrow and Kate Moss? I guess they're both skinny, but other than that, extremely different styles and makeup, and he did both of their makeup, and he was such a talented talented soul. This foundation is one of my very favorites to put under cream products because it is just satin enough that we're not going to end up looking overly dewy, where we're going to look oily. It just is a really great base that still allows any glow from within to shine through, but also is satin enough that the glow that we're going to put on top of it is not going to become too much. Let's go on to bronzer. I'm going to bronze and contour specifically because I want to show you guys that it's possible with creams, but I do it backwards with creams. When I'm using powder products, or if I'm gonna use a powder bronzer, then I will go in with my cream or powder contour first and then go over and bronze after. When I'm doing cream, I do the opposite, because with creams, I have found you want to go with the lighter shade first. And for me, my bronzer is always going to be a touch lighter, a touch warmer than my contour. So I like to lay that shade down first. I'm going to be using my very favorite cream bronzer of all time. There were too many R's in that sentence and I was having a hard time. Could you tell? So my very favorite cream bronzer is the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel. They reformulated this. It broke my heart. I hope they one day come to their senses. I think that the new version, it's okay, but there are some ingredients in it that my skin just doesn't like. So again, I'm so sorry that I'm using this, but it's my favorite. I like to take a Sephora Dome Stippling brush. This is number 41. I think they might have discontinued this brush too, which I don't know why, because it's a great brush, but any kind of like big stippling foundation brush is just so good for products like this. So I kind of just do like circular motions around the outside of the face. And I basically almost go, I like to start where I'm gonna go contour, but I kind of do a little bit bigger circles because we're gonna cover a little bit more area with the bronzer than with the contour. I do like to warm up my forehead a little bit. This shade for me is just so good. And again, they didn't change the shade. What they changed was just what's inside the ingredients. And I don't love some of the new ingredients. So it's a judgment call on if you want to give it a try, the new one. But for me, I'm just gonna stick with this. I have a couple of these. I mentioned one of my good friends went to Israel and picked up a few right when they were discontinuing, and she was able to get a few of the old formula. So I have a couple of these stocked, and I hope that they don't go bad before Chanel finally comes to its senses and brings back the original formula. We should all email them and tell them we want the original formula back. So you can see how naturally this just sits on the skin. It is so beautiful. And I can stop right here. A lot of times I will if I'm doing a face of cream makeup, but I do want to show you my contour because it's my favorite contour stick. I love the shade. If you're around my skin tone, this is a really great shade. It is Biscuit from Westman Atelier. This has quickly become my favorite contour stick. I just absolutely love the shade. It's very creamy. It blends out beautifully. I just put a touch here right up at the hairline. I follow my natural cheekbone. I go right under the cheekbone, and it takes very little effort to just buff it in. I go in with a foundation brush. I like kind of like domed foundation brushes for this. The one I'm using right now is a Zoeva Silk Finish brush. I will link all the brushes down below because I am a total brush hound. So maybe you're like me and you're curious. So I don't do too much with the contour. I don't pull it down too much because my cheekbones sit up pretty high naturally. I didn't show you before I put on the bronzer, but I kind of naturally have a shadow here because of where my cheekbones sit. So I just like to add a tiny bit of enhancement to that, and I don't pull it down too much. So a good tip I have is do not bring your contour down any further than the corner of your eyebrow, because that's gonna keep your cheeks lifted, keep your face lifted. If you drag down further than that, I feel like it kind of pulls the face down. You may see me, if you watch my beauty biography videos, you may occasionally see me bring the contour further. That's just because I'm trying to mimic someone's makeup look. In my general day-to-day life, I tend to not bring bronzer or contour any further down than that end point of my eyebrow. just to keep things lifted. So give that a try if you've never tried that before. I don't even remember where I picked that up. It might have been from like Kim Kardashian, which sounds, maybe, I don't know. Weirder things have happened. I feel like after watching so many makeup videos in my life and reading so many makeup books that I tend to forget now where I got information. Just certain things stick with me, and I feel like the things that stick with me are the things that work, and that is one thing that really, really works for me. I'm gonna go ahead and contour my jawline because I'm just in the mood. I tend to just contour my jawline and not my chin because I have a heart-shaped face, so this part of my face is already a bit pointy, but I do like to accentuate my jawline. I like the shape of my face, and so I like to accentuate it. So we had the bronze going on already from the Soleil Tan, and now we're just adding a little bit of definition into the face with the Swiss Atelier stick. And what's so great about cream makeup is it just feels so light. Like if you have the right cream makeup, it feels very light on the skin. Everything kind of melds in. The heat from your face just makes everything look so effortless, and I love that about cream makeup. I feel like it's so much easier to blend than powders because it's not, if you get a good quality cream product, it's not sticking. And especially people with dry skin like myself, you know, there are dry places sometimes. So if you can find the right cream products that aren't going to stick to those, it's just so helpful. I'm going to contour my nose. I tend to just take a brush, like a old cheap eyeshadow brush, fluffy one, and dig right into the product and then put it on. The good thing with this stick, you can put it straight on or you can pick it up on a brush and apply it that way. It's totally up to you. I've tried both ways, and when I first got this, I kind of went in way too heavy at first, and so it didn't blend out as well. And that's one tip I have for cream products, is to start with less because you can always build them up. I mean, that goes for all products really, but especially cream products, if you put too much on, it's gonna be very difficult to get it off because it's gonna meld into the rest of the makeup, and it's not gonna be as simple as with a powder. Sometimes you can just take a clean brush and kind of brush off to get some of the excess off. With a cream, a lot of times it's already melded in and mixed in with the other makeup that you've already put down. So it's very difficult to get off excess. So starting out with a little bit and then building up, always gonna be your best bet. For concealer, I'm gonna use the Kosas Revealer Concealer. I have the shade 01. I originally started with a different shade. It was too yellow for me. This is the right shade for me. It's a little bit lighter, so it's good for the under eye, but it's very neutral, so this works great for me. And I love how creamy and hydrating this formula is. It is so nice. I'm gonna go ahead and do my concealer because we're using cream products today. So I'll be using a cream eyeshadow. I'm gonna be using the Caviar sticks. There's really no fallout with those, so I don't mind to go ahead and do my under eye first. We're gonna be using the Caviar sticks. I do like to go in and put just a touch of concealer on my lids to even everything out on the lid. And I'm probably gonna do my brows first before I do eyeshadow. And I think I'm just going to fast forward through that because I'm gonna be using my just day-to-day favorite eyebrow products. Those are the Dior Brow Styler Pencil and the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter Gel. Those are my two favorite go-to eyebrow products. I switch it up occasionally, but there's just no combination that I like as much as those two products. I like my brows to be filled in, but pretty natural, and they're just really great products for that kind of brow. For eyes, we're gonna be using Laura Mercier Caviar sticks. I have a ton of these. These are the three I'm using today. I have a bunch more. I was trying to figure out which ones I wanted to use. These are not even all the ones I have. And I hate to admit it, but my entire wish list on Sephora right now is just more Caviar sticks. I want to have all the shades because I absolutely love these. I think they're fantastic. I love like very natural, effortless looking makeup looks. I like very light reflective eyes, and these sticks are so good for that. They blend out, I think, much easier than powder shadows, which is just, you know, a dream for someone like me, because I always feel like I can't blend my shadows as well as I see other people blend them. When it comes to powder eyeshadow, I do okay. I do a good job, I think, but I definitely see people work with kind of more finicky products and they do a great job with it. I don't have the patience for that or the skill. I like products that are easy to work with. These are super easy to work with because they blend out really well, and they stay wet, I guess. They dry down, but they don't dry down super fast. So you have time to blend them out, which is fantastic. Now on the lids, I'm gonna be using the shade Au Naturel. This is just a good like beigey, almost like pink toned beige. It's really good for like a skin tone looking color. I like to put this on the lid and blend it up into my crease to create kind of like a transition. I used this, I think, in my Betty Davis beauty biography. Wow, I completely forgot got the name of my own series there for a minute. So in my Betty Davis beauty biography, I used this shade as the base because it just creates a very natural looking base, but there's something there and you give a little bit of definition to the eyes. I got a couple questions about these on that beauty biography video, so I wanted to go ahead and just answer them in this video too, in case you were wondering the same thing and maybe didn't see those comments that I responded to. So a couple of the questions I got were about if these worked well on textured lids or crepey lids, aging mature eyelids, and my answer is yes, because I have recommended these to basically everyone in my life. I gifted little mini sets this past Christmas to my mom and to both of my grandmothers. They range in age from 50 to 85, and they love these. I will say that both of my grandmothers tend to like the more shimmery shades, not the intense shades, but the shimmery ones. So for example, one of the ones we're going to use today is Burnished Bronze. This would be one of the shimmer ones. Amethyst is a good shimmer. They like those better than they like the intense ones because they just tend to, one, blend out easier, like I said, and number two, they don't accentuate any texture or crepiness on the eyelids, and they are much easier to blend when you have extra skin. So maybe you're someone, it's not so much crepiness as you have like a hooded eye naturally. That's something that they would also come in handy for. So next I'm taking Burnished Bronze, which is what it says. It's just a really nice, it's kind of like a berry bronze tone. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna put just a touch of that, like almost like I'm making a wing right here, just one little line, and then I'm gonna blend it up into like my outer V. And like with any other cream, I was just talking about starting off with just a little bit and building up. That's definitely what you want to do with these two. You don't want to go in and put a ton down first, because that's gonna mess up your blend. You just wanna go a little bit at a time and build them up as dark as you want them. The brush I'm using to blend is a MAC 217. I find that with these, I go lighter to darker like I do with all cream products on my face. I like to go lightest to darkest. You saw how we went bronzer and then contour. With this, do the same thing. Go with your lighter shades to your darker shades. And using that system, I can use the same brush to blend these out, no problem. I've tried a couple different sticks like this. I like the Bobbi Brown ones pretty well, but they dry so much faster, so you have to work faster. The Laura Mercier ones, they stay blendable the longest of any cream shadows that I have tried, any cream shadow stick, and that makes it so much easier to blend because you have the time you need to get it blended out before it dries down. And make no mistake about it, these do dry down and they will stay. They dry down and they stay really well. You're not gonna have a bunch of smudging, crazy nonsense going on in a couple hours. They stay where you put them. Once they have set down, they're staying there. You will need to use like, eye makeup remover to get them off. It's not like it's just gonna be like halfway down your face. That's not gonna happen, don't worry. One more tip I'll give is you can see right here, this eye goes a little bit further over, so I kind of want to correct that. Now, rather than putting a little bit there because I'm worried I just need the tiniest bit, I can just pick up a little bit on my brush, pick up a little bit off of the Caviar stick, and then use that to add in that little spot where I needed it. I can't get this kind of blend when I am using powder shadows. I mean, I can if they're high quality, but these are just so much easier in my opinion. I'm a really big fan. If I wasn't just like really drawn to eyeshadow palettes because they do such a good job marketing them, I probably would always use cream shadows. All right, last but not least, I'm gonna take the shade Intense Rose Gold and I'm gonna put that on the inner like half of my eyelid to brighten everything up and give us a nice metallic finish. These intense ones are the ones I was saying that my grandmothers did not like these as much as they liked the just plain shimmery shades. Those would be any of the shades from Laura Mercier, the line that say that they are a shimmer. If it doesn't have intense before it, then it's just a regular shimmer or a matte. You can tell there's swatches everywhere you can buy them. I always get mine from Sephora. When you click, it will tell you if it's a shimmer or a matte. So if it says it's a shimmer and it doesn't have Intense Rose Gold in front of it, then it's just a plain shimmer shade. The intense ones are a little bit more metallic-y. You can see, I mean, it just gives an amazing glow. I love them. My mom has a little more texture to her eyes, a little bit of crepiness. She has a teensy bit of a hooded eye that's come from age, and she still really enjoys the intense shades. But my grandmothers have far more texture and crepiness, and the intense ones for them, they just didn't love as much. They occasionally use them, but they definitely prefer those regular shimmers. I love the intense. If you don't have a lot of texture or maybe just have a little bit of crepiness, you're probably still gonna like these. Look at that shine. It's so beautiful. This just looks like so much more of a complicated eye look than it actually was. I mean, this is 3 Caviar sticks. It just looks so lovely, so blended. I absolutely love these for that reason, and I really love the intense shades. So if you are around my age or you don't have a ton of texture on your lids, I think you might still enjoy the intense shades because that metallic finish, I mean, that's just so beautiful, right? Right. I am gonna pull one of the shades down on my lower lash line to just give us a little bit of a full rounded look, but I'm gonna use the only powder product I'm using today. It's a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder because I do need to just set my under eye concealer so that I don't end up getting a little bitty crease right there where I do have just a natural baby line under the eye. I think most people do, and for me, my eyes sit a little deep, so I have that little rim right there that if I don't set it with a little bit of powder, there will be a tiny line in like an hour. All right, so we're gonna pull Burnished Bronze back out and we're gonna put that on the bottom lash line. Again, you can go straight in or you could pick it up on a pencil brush and then go in. I'm just gonna go straight for it. I'm just gonna put a little bit here. That's about, maybe go like a third of the way, and then I'm gonna pull it to about 2/3 of the way in. I'm just gonna put a brightening eye pencil in my waterline. This one is from Chantecaille. They're sold out everywhere for some reason, but a lot of lines have these brightening eye pencils. If you can't get a hold of this one, if it's still sold out, which I'm almost sure it is, then the Charlotte Tilbury one is also really good. I'm gonna throw on a little bit of lower lash mascara, and then I will brush out my top lashes. If you're new here and wondering why I'm not putting mascara on my top lashes, it's because I have lash extensions. I feel like that's pretty obvious, but it might not be, because you know, if it's your first time here, you don't know me like that. I have an itch, so I'm just tapping it with a beauty blender. I absolutely hate when that happens. You have on makeup and then something starts itching. It always happens to around my nose. It's always somewhere around the nose. For blush, I'm gonna be using another Westman Atelier product. This is one that kind of like disappeared from my radar for a few months, and then I recently pulled it back out and I'm so loving it again. It is the Westman Atelier Baby Cheeks Blush Stick. This is the shade Chouchette. I can never say that. I'm not good at French. Not good at French. Anyway, it's such a beautiful shade. It's like a baby pink meets peach. It's super flattering, super lovely. I also really love the Fenty ones. I love this one called Drama Class. I just want to show you, like, look how pretty that one is. You think, oh wow, that's too much, but it's really not. Like, once you blend it out, it's really, really beautiful and a nice purple. If you're someone who's fair and cool toned, this is a really lovely shade. I recently tried the Rare Beauty ones. I tried Nearly Neutral, which I absolutely loved, but since I just put that one on last week, I will link that video above and down below. I decided let's pull out Chouchette because it is a really lovely shade, and I love that you can just, you know, go in with the stick. As long as you're not sharing the stick with someone, it's fine to just put it on your skin. I used to think that was unhygienic, but then I got over it because come on, Ashley. I like to blend this out with a sponge. You can use your fingers. It blends out well either way. And again, this is just a really nice, these are high quality cream products, the Westman Atelier line. I like most things that I've tried. I did not like their highlight stick. So if you're interested in Westman Atelier, I would say that I really like the contour. It's my favorite cream contour at this point. And I really like the cheek sticks. The foundation was okay with me. The shade was a little off, the shade that I got. So I think that's kind of why it was not as big of a hit with me as it might have been. I need to definitely go back and retry it, but I can speak to the contour in the blush being really nice. The highlight stick, skip that. Don't waste your money on that. It's not good. All it does is pull up product under it. Sorry to be a downer. I just want to warn you in case you go looking at Westman Atelier and you think, oh wow, I want that. I just want to let you know. I'm gonna throw a little bit above the brows and a tiny bit on the tip of my nose because I want to look very healthy and flushed. I have a few of my favorite cream highlighters that I pulled out. The first, this is Half Moon from Nude Sticks. This is one of their Nudies Glow. I love this because it has a little bit of a like cool purple shift to it. Really beautiful. I then have Ritual de Fille. This is their Metamorphic highlighter. This is in the shade The Siren. This one has more of like, kind of like a holographic shift to it. It's here in the middle. You've got a little bit of a champagne shade going on. And then I have the Danessa Myricks Duet. This is just a beautiful straight up wet highlighter. If you want like a dewy, just wet look, this is the one for you. It's so hard to see because there is really no color to it. It's just wetness. It's so lovely. I'm having a really hard time choosing which one I want. It's just so hard to decide. I think I'm going to go with the Duet because I love the tone of everything that's going on. So I don't really want to add a tone to this. Like I said, the Ritual de Fille has a little bit of like a champagne white gold. The Half Moon from Nude Sticks, a little bit of like a lavender shift, which is really nice if you have cool tone skin. I really like that one if I have like a purple eye on. But today, since I feel like everything's quite neutral and balanced, I'm gonna go with the Duet from Danessa Myricks Beauty. It's so lovely. You can just put your finger in it. It melts amazingly. I spoke earlier about how I don't like the Westman Atelier highlighter stick because it pulls up product under it. This product right here from Danessa Myricks is what I wanted the Westman Atelier highlighter stick to be. Something that just makes the skin look wet, but doesn't pull up product underneath it. Doesn't add anything in color, just adds that glossy, like editorial look. This does that without pulling up anything under it. It sits so nicely. I've used this on top of powder before. It does not pull up product underneath it. It blends so lovely. And there's just the slightest bit of tackiness so that it stays where you put it. But after you put it on, you don't feel it. It's just a lovely product. I feel like more people should be talking about this because I think it's honestly like my favorite product that I tried from Danessa Myricks. And I'm gonna put just a tiny bit down my nose. I mean, the tiniest bit, because really wherever you put this is going to look wet. And you see you have a good bit of shine everywhere else still, so I don't really feel the need to highlight too many places. I just want to get kind of on my cupid's bow and the high points of the cheek and right there along the nose. So, ooh, I feel so glowy. I mean, that is just so healthy looking. I love when skin looks healthy. I'm just so happy. I'm gonna line my lips with just a nice kind of cool pinky mauve. This is the shade Lumiere from ColourPop. This is one of their lippy pencils. I own every color of lippy pencil. I bought the big box of lippy pencils. It was a good investment because now I have every shade of lip pencil imaginable. This is such a good shade. I love this shade. And you'll notice I did overline in a couple places. I don't normally do that, but I'm trying to practice for a upcoming beauty biography where I'm gonna need to kind of change my lip shape a little bit. So I am trying out this little bit of a different shape just because I need to like get the hang of it before I film that video. I wanna go in with a lip gloss next and I can't really decide. I have Aurora Pink from M Cosmetics. This is a nice cream gloss. It's really beautiful. I love that shade. I love the formula. And then I have two from Dose of Colors. I absolutely love their lip gloss formula. The two shades I have are Messy Bun. Again, just a nice mauve shade. I love that. And then the other one is Just My Type, which is a little more rosy than mauve, but still has a bit of a similar tone. It's just a little bit lighter. Let's see where we want to go. I think I'm gonna go with Messy Bun today. Love these formulas. And of course, if you watch Jessica Braun, you probably know where I got this idea because these are her two favorites. These are a really nice cream gloss formula. When I saw that Fenty was coming out with cream glosses, those were actually what I thought about were Dose of Colors. I was like, oh, okay, that reminds me so much of those lip glosses. I haven't tried the Fenty ones yet. I've heard different things about them. I might try them at some point, but I have so many lip glosses that I don't use that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait. And this formula really is one of my very favorite formulas. I love how creamy and opaque these shades are. They sit really well on the lips. They smell nice. They have a little bit of like a, I don't know how to explain it. It's not minty. It's something like, it smells like yellow cake mix. Yellow cake mix. That's what it is. Cake batter. I like that. And this is the finished look. Oh, I'm in love. I feel radiant. I mean, look at this gloss on the cheeks. And this eye look, so blended, so light reflective. Again, these are some of my very favorite cream products, so I'm not surprised that I love the finished look. I just feel radiant, dewy, and I feel like my skin looks so healthy and plump. That's the thing I think I love most about working with cream products is everything on my face feels very hydrated and in balance, which when you have dry skin, that's like, you just long to feel plumped up. I mean, I feel like my cheeks look very like, I'm kind of in love with them. Oh my goodness. I thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below, do you use a lot of cream products? Are you interested in seeing more videos like this? I would love to know, and I would love to see you in my next video. Until then, you take care of yourself. Bye.